In the deep, green forests of the north, where the sun filtered through the trees in golden beams, there lived a bear named Grizzle. Grizzle was a strong and solitary creature, known far and wide for his enormous size and thick, shaggy coat. But despite his impressive appearance, Grizzle was not well loved by the other animals in the forest. He had a reputation for being rough, distant, and a little intimidating. For years, Grizzle lived alone in the heart of the woods. He spent his days foraging for food, fishing in the rivers, and wandering through the dense thickets. He didn't have many friends, but he didn't mind. He believed that strength was the key to survival and that the forest was a place for those who could take care of themselves. Compassion and kindness in Grizzle's eyes were luxuries that he simply could not afford. One crisp autumn morning, as the trees shimmered in the golden light of dawn, Grizzle stumbled upon a small, injured rabbit near the edge of a clearing. The rabbit was trembling, its leg caught in a hunter's trap. It looked up at Grizzle with big, frightened eyes, its soft fur matted with dirt and blood. Grizzle paused. His instincts told him to walk away. After all, this was not his problem. He was just one bear, and there were plenty of other animals in the forest who could help this poor creature. But something inside him hesitated. He had never been one to show concern for anyone but himself, yet in this moment, he felt an unusual tug in his heart. The rabbit whimpered softly and Grizzle took a step closer. He could hear the pain in its voice, and for the first time, he wondered if maybe strength wasn't all there was to life. With a deep, reluctant sigh, Grizzle knelt down and carefully pried the trap open with his powerful claws. The rabbit winced in pain as its leg was freed, but it managed a soft, grateful look toward the bear. "Are you all right?" Grizzle asked, his voice gruff but gentle. The rabbit nodded weakly. I think so. Thank you," it whispered. Grizzle nodded, unsure of what to do next. "You should rest. It's dangerous out here. The forest isn't kind to those who are weak." But before the rabbit could say anything, a rustling in the bushes interrupted them. A loud growl pierced the air as a large wolf emerged from the shadows. Its eyes gleamed hungrily as it locked onto the vulnerable rabbit. The wolf bared its teeth, growling low. "That's my prey, bear. Step aside." Grizzle's body tensed. The wolf was not afraid of him. No creature in the forest seemed to be, especially when hunger was involved. The bear stood tall, his immense frame casting a shadow over the clearing. "I don't want any trouble," Grizzle said, his voice rumbling like distant thunder. "Leave it alone. The rabbit is mine." The wolf snarled, taking a step forward. "What makes you think you can tell me what to do? You're nothing but a big lumbering bear. Get out of my way." Grizzle could feel his anger rising, the heat of the confrontation filling the air. He could fight this wolf and drive it off as he had done many times before with other creatures, but something stopped him. For some reason he didn't want to fight today. He didn't want to hurt anyone. Instead, Grizzle took a deep breath and with surprising calm he spoke again. "No. I've made a promise to help this rabbit. I won't break it." The wolf growled, its patience wearing thin. "You're making a mistake, bear." But before the wolf could take another step, a strange thing happened. The rabbit, small and weak as it was, stood up on trembling legs. It faced the wolf, its ears flat and its eyes full of determination. "Leave us alone," the rabbit shouted, surprising both Grizzle and the wolf. The wolf paused, taken aback by the rabbit's sudden courage. "You're talking to me?" it sneered. "Yes, I am," the rabbit replied, though its voice was shaky. "You're a bully and you'll never understand the power of kindness. Go find someone else to torment." Grizzle watched in amazement as the rabbit spoke with such bravery. His chest swelled with a feeling he couldn't quite place. It wasn't pride or triumph, but something softer, something like respect. The wolf, now unsure of what to do, growled again but retreated into the woods, its hungry eyes lingering for a moment before disappearing into the trees. Grizzle watched it go, then turned his gaze to the rabbit. "You were brave," Grizzle said, his voice quieter than usual. The rabbit gave a weak smile. "I had no choice. I had to defend myself." Grizzle nodded slowly, deep in thought. He had never considered that perhaps kindness was a form of strength. Perhaps the rabbit was right, there was more to survival than just fighting and being tough. Perhaps there was power in standing up for others, in protecting them even when it meant facing danger. As the days passed, Grizzle began to notice something strange. He found himself thinking about that moment, the rabbit's courage and the wolf's retreat. Was kindness truly powerful? Could it really be stronger than fear, than violence, than strength alone? The more Grizzle reflected, the more he realized that the answer was yes. He began to change. Little by little, Grizzle started helping others in the forest, though it was hard at first. He would find a squirrel with a broken acorn shell and gently return it to its home. He would find birds whose nests had been destroyed by wind and help them rebuild. He would offer food to those who seemed hungry, even if it meant sharing a portion of his own hard-earned meal. The animals of the forest began to notice the bear's transformation. They had always feared him, but now they saw something different in his eyes, a kindness that was as vast as the forest itself. Slowly, the creatures who had once avoided Grizzle began to trust him. They began to realize that he was no longer just a force of brute strength. He had become something much more important, a protector, a friend. One winter evening, as the first snowflakes began to fall, Grizzle found himself at the edge of the forest, looking out over the quiet landscape. The forest was still, peaceful, and cold. The snow settled gently on the ground, creating a soft white blanket over everything. Grizzle felt something new in his heart, a warmth, like the gentle glow of a fire on a cold night. He thought back to the rabbit, to that moment when he had chosen to help instead of fight. He realized that kindness had changed him, had made him stronger than he had ever been. And now he understood that true strength wasn't just about how hard you could fight, but about how big your heart could be. As Grizzle stood there, the animals of the forest gathered around him, their faces full of gratitude and trust. The wolf, once his rival, now nodded in respect. The rabbit, now fully healed, hopped over to Grizzle, a smile on its small face. The bear had learned the power of kindness, and with it, he had earned something more precious than any victory or conquest, the love and respect of those around him. And so, Grizzle the bear lived the rest of his days in the forest, not as a solitary creature, but as a friend, a protector, and a symbol of the strength that can be found in kindness.